Hi guys. Okay, so today I don't actually need these. Today you are outlining possible essays. So I've done a lot of outlining this year, but as I've said before, I think outlining is far and away one of the most useful skills you can give yourself, especially when you're trying to plan your essay out in advance. You just do yourself so many favors by writing a good outline. So we're going to outline a couple of essays today, and you will choose one of those for an in-class essay later in the week. But I want you to get lots of practice kind of hammering out a strong structure on the front end. So today, you will outline 3 possible essays you could write on the first 30 chapters of East of Eden. Read the prompts and consider what the claim and supports would be for each. You do not have to cite specific language from the text, although you should reference specific scenes and you may find citing evidence helpful. Your outline should be in 2 parts, mini and expanded. See below for an example. So I have given you an example with Girl with All the Gifts. So I wrote myself like a little baby prompt. What is the importance of Greek mythology in Girl with All the Gifts? And then I did a mini outline. So my mini outline has 4 parts. So there's my claim, and then there are my 3 supports, which are 2, 3, and 4, right? So my mini version, my claim is, and this is not like my fancy expanded language, right? This is for you. The mini outline is entirely for you, just so you can kind of collect your thoughts. So I thought to myself sort of like, okay, what's the point of mythology and Girl with All the Gifts? Well, it helps Melanie understand what's going on in her world, because her world's hard to understand. And these are like simple stories that help her make sense of them, right? So I think my big claim, my overarching claim, is mythology helps Melanie understand things that are difficult to understand. I wouldn't just write that in my essay because that's not very formal, and you know Miss McKinley, she doesn't like when you use the word things. It's not great. But you can use it in your mini outline. And then I have my 3 supports, right? And so I know in my head what these are, but when I'm thinking like, okay, what are things that Melanie doesn't understand that she uses mythology to help her understand? Well, one is that she's like a zombie girl, and she thinks about Pandora to understand that. Another one, she's always calling herself like a Titan and wants to protect Miss Justinu. So it's kind of helping her understand like what her relationship to Miss Justinu is. And then also she has this kind of thing about fairness and how that relates to Pandora's box and how that relates to Hungries. Okay, so I'm gonna do it's helping Melanie understand being a Hungry, loving Miss Justinu, and have the idea of fairness. Boom, 3 supports. So her powers as a Hungry, her love for Miss J, the unfairness of how Hungries are treated. Look at there, simple outline. But all of these fall under the umbrella of things that are difficult for Melanie to understand, that she uses mythology to help her understand. So I've got a good structure. Now I go into my expanded outline, which is where I use kind of my fancy language. And I make sure that that through line of Melanie doesn't understand this, so she uses mythology, is actually in the language of my claim and all 3 of my supports. So in my claim, and we started here, and then we shift into more complex, formal school language. In Girl with All the Gifts, Greek mythology offers Melanie a way to contextualize experiences that she has little ability to understand, from her nature as a Hungry, to her overwhelming love for Miss Justinu, to the nature of injustice. Now, if you notice, I don't try to explain all of these here. I don't say how mythology helps her understand being a Hungry. I don't explain how it helps her explain her love for Miss Justinu. But I'm giving you an idea of where I'm going with it, right? So you don't need to do all of your logic here. You just need to tell me what points you're going to be making roughly, like very generally, okay? Then we go into our support. So this would be my topic sentence for my first body paragraph. Melanie spends the first half of the novel coming to understand that she is not a typical little girl, and the story of Pandora serves to help her accept her nature rather than view it as exclusively monstrous. So I have the thing she doesn't understand, which is that she's a Hungry, And I have I have a little bit of the logic of how mythology helps her come to terms with that. And I'm going to unpack all of that in my evidence and analysis. Then shift to support 2. Melanie's most intense relationship in the novel is with Miss Justinu, but because their relationship does not fit neatly into the categories of teacher, student, mother, daughter, or even lovers, she uses the story of the Titans to contextualize the magnitude of her love and devotion. So, things she doesn't understand, who she is to Miss Justinu, what their relationship really is, and how does she she uses mythology to help herself understand what that relationship is. And I have one more. You can read that on your own time. So you have these 3 prompts. These are y'all, I love high school paper prompts. They're my favorite thing in the world. These are 3 pretty straightforward prompts that ask you to think about a lot in the novel. So what you'll do is make these kinds of outlines, right? So start with a mini outline. If you're going to do all 3 of these. So first of all, you're doing all 3 because I really want you to have practice with each of these, or just with the process of outlining is really what I'm looking for. Because sometimes I notice that sometimes the body paragraphs wind up answering the question, but they don't actually relate to the claim, right? And the claim should be our master document that kind of weaves through all our body paragraphs. So I really want to underline and lock in. We are focused on making the claim relevant to all of our body paragraphs. And outlining is a great way to really, really focus on that. But here we have, what role do the Hamiltons play in the novel, given that Steinbeck explores most of his moral concerns through the portrayal of the Trask family? What is the significance of the fact that the narrator is descended from the Hamiltons? So you will come up with a claim for that. And again, it can be real shorthand, easy peasy language, and then bang, 1 support, 2 supports, 3 supports, and you're out. You can do all of the mini outlines first if that's helpful, and then go into sort of the nitty gritty adult language of the expanded outline. All up to you. Also be thinking about which one you feel the strongest about, because we'll be looking at doing an in-class essay tomorrow, and you're going to want to, one of these is going to turn into a full-fledged paper. So keep that in mind. Okay, guys, that is what we have for right now. I am going to peace out of here, but I wish you the best of luck with your outlines. I know I'm asking a lot of you this week, but I only ask a lot because I know you are capable of a lot. Have a good day. Bye.